So I think I just did a little loop and explained all about how I fixed my motherboard, and it was probably boring anyway, so the GoPro just decided to delete it or something, I don't know. I went to turn off the GoPro, and although I'm sure I turned it on, it was not recording, and I had to like reset the battery before it would record this video. So I have actually done a little bit of riding on it now, not hardcore. That was the baby loop where I am super gentle with it that I just did, and explained all the process sort of. I'll try to do that again, but the explanations, but I'll do it very summed up because maybe that video did record. And then once I'm done with that, I think I'll start trying to ride it like I'm not afraid of it. So I fly FPV drones, and we use ESCs to control our motors. And this, the main board in our wheels is basically a giant ESC, electric speed controller or whatever. This is definitely more complicated in the wheel, and the ESC on the, you know, the drones is only a little 45 amp ESC for, you know, up to 6S, which is like 24 volts or so, 25 charged or something like that. Anyway, when you crash a drone and the motor's spinning and it's forced to stop in the crash because you didn't disarm it fast enough, you blow a FET, you know, 9 times out of 10, if you don't just destroy it completely. This, you're gonna blow a FET. It's a voltage spike that usually causes that. They can be, blown FETs can be caused by, you know, just, or failed FETs, whatever. You know, it could just overheat straight up. That's why they have contact straight to the heatsink. So, you know, if you want to guard against that, try to improve the conduction to the heatsink with like some PC thermal paste or something like that, and that'll help out with that aspect. I don't know how, other than you know, riding better, not freewheeling your wheel and then all of a sudden making it touch a rock like I did in that video last week. That's what caused the voltage spike, and those little MOSFETs can't handle that. They're only rated to, I think these ones are 130 volt, 300 amps, maybe 125 volts, something close to that. And we're a 100 volt wheel, so you know, you're gonna spike back plenty of voltage and burn up the FET if you do something like I did. So the reason that I was able to repair it, we'll see how repaired it really is today, I guess, and in the subsequent weeks until the fresh main board. I wonder what I can do with this. Oh, that was almost good. Try to bonk that little tiny rock up and over, and then of course clip a pedal right here, because pedal clips are awesome. Where was I? Probably talking about, okay, so I only blew 2 FETs on the main board. Plenty of videos on YouTube how to identify failed FETs if you're curious about it. I think it was a e-bike controller the guy was repairing in the video. Anyways, the 2 FETs I blew were only on, you know, one phase, and they were the low side FETs. And in that video where the guy was repairing the e-bike controller, he says something about, or maybe it was in the literature down below, something about if you blow the high and low side FETs, the chances that you can repair it by just swapping FETs is very low. and you probably have some more damage on the board, like a driver chip or maybe trace wires or something. So he also talks about, you would replace the high and low side FETs, for more success, because the high side FETs could have, or the opposite side of them, whatever you did burn, is also going to be stressed out. They just didn't happen to fail completely. So yeah, it was as easy as that, swapping some FETs, which was actually, sorry, it's windy right here. I don't know if I'm helping or not, but I'm gonna do this now, and I'll talk louder. Actually, let's just get back into a trail so it's not so windy maybe. So yeah, the FETs have 3 pins, which makes them incredibly difficult to remove. You have to kind of dance your soldering iron between. I tried a couple things, like laying a piece of wire to conduct the heat to all 3 of the pins, but it was just not enough. It wasn't working out for me. Tried using a solder sucker to remove all of the solder and leave just a clean pin to left over. This guy on fucking YouTube, I mean, I don't know why I'm so mad about it, but yeah, he uses a solder sucker to desolder this like transformer off the circuit board with like freaking like 18 pins or something, and he just basically drops the thing out of the board, and I was fighting with those MOSFETs like crazy. So yeah, what ended up working is you just gotta fucking heat them up a lot, heat up those pins. You're kind of trying to heat up 2 of them at a time, the middle one and one outside one, and try to remove those as much as you can. I also went to the other side of the board and clipped off the extra length of pin, just so I didn't have to cover so much distance. And getting them back in is not as difficult, but it's not easy. But I mean, I'm riding. This thing wouldn't turn on at all after it did the thing. It oh hey, I guess I looped around that same rock. Yeah, I get so lost out here. It's all just so crazy. What was it? Something. I got my wheel back. I'm pretty excited about it. This hasn't been cranking it really. I really don't want to eat shit though, especially like on purpose. Which is why the new board's just coming. Like, I don't want to. This will be a backup maybe. This will maybe be my board that I use when I don't have a working board. I mean, I don't know. I know almost nothing about these things, so. And I don't expect anybody to really give me a green light, like, yes, it's safe or not, because I mean, we've all been seeing posts about brand new wheels. You get an Abrams, you get a freaking, what, V12, and you just are pretty much in my same boat where you have no idea if you can really trust it. I mean, I guess with the Abrams, we just know, don't trust them. But yeah, I think I'll give it one more little gas through here with just trying to not be afraid of it at all. I said I was going to do that on this one, but I don't know, my pads are also making me not super confident. I haven't swapped them out with the Kai pads yet. There's a really good chance too that my GoPro's just not working, and I'm talking to myself right now completely. It's like a new level of talking to myself because no one will ever hear it. No one will hear that. Yeah, I miss being able to just run into that thing full speed and not have to worry. Here we go. This is the there's nothing wrong with my wheel, there's nothing wrong with my wheel, there's nothing wrong with my wheel ride. Maybe this will just make me a better rider because I'm not just going to be slamming my friggin' wheel into things all the time just because I can. Because it's an RS and it'll fucking take it. The bummer is I wasn't even like riding it when it failed. It just I got stuck and then free spin the wheel until it clipped a rock. Oh, nice little bonk. Get the speed back. All right, yeah. I feel like that's not the way I usually go through there, but oh, but it's working. Damn, son. That was I didn't dab, but I almost had to take a foot off there. Those rocks are just eating up my tire. All right, here we go. That's not even beeping. I guess it was a pretty smooth rock though, I didn't really need to beep. Just ride over the tops of all the rocks so you don't clip the pedals on anything. I know there's a mountain biker out here somewhere. Oh, okay, there was a nice little bonk. I think get to a good spot to check the temperature. I want to try to, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just looking at that rock on the right side like, yeah, go straight up that. All right, we're at 55. I'm pretty sure my fan mod is helping. Oh, I never use Velcro on my thingy. All right, I don't got time for this. Cut to shredded me from not fixing my pad right. Alright, this is where we go out. Oh yeah, that was not so bad. My abs get fucking tore up from like one day of jumping the rock over shit, or jumping the wheel. Might as well be a fucking rock. Oh, the bushes want my pedals. Yeah, I don't know, I gotta rest up. I mean, maybe the wheel was trying to burn up, so I just took a rest week. I'm just trying not to fucking jump so much until it's healed. I get super paranoid about body aches. I'll be like, oh no, I have a hernia or something. Cut to, I'm in the hospital because I have a hernia. So what's up? What's new in the wheel world this week? Now that I've explained how my weekend went. No riding, all fixing, but you know, I didn't go easy on it really. That on the way up just now, that was just kind of trusting it. So I'm trying to kind of draw on everyone's knowledge, right? Everyone, my homie Richard says maybe when it burned up, the heat, you know, I was kind of riding for a little while, the heat could have added to the failure of the MOSFET. So I'm going to try to keep an eye on my heat while I'm doing these rides. Because it's definitely a thing. It gets hot out here. Today it's a little bit cooler, but very windy. I think the last day that I was out here when I killed the wheel, it was in the hundreds during the day, maybe still high 80s when I was riding. And then these trails are kind of rough on your, look at everything. These trails are kind of rough. All this uphill grinding with lots of deep sand and rocks. There's a smooth little section right here we can maybe get a little flow through. So nice, we can just kind of move around on the wheel, start throwing your weight around. Whee! Alright, I'll stop. You guys all know the feeling. Feeling that soft sand. Hopefully you don't know that feeling, or if you do, maybe you can give me some pointers on the best ways to handle it. It almost turns into kind of like, I've done some mountain biking up there in Mammoth, which I'm only about an hour away from right here in Bishop. And there's mountain biking season just started. I'm planning on going up there and riding the wheel on some of the lower trails that are closer to town. And yeah, riding Mammoth on a bike was different than any other trails that I was used to riding in Southern California. It's because of this stuff. Out there it's even worse. It's really like cat litter. I mean, you're riding around on rocks, which is kind of my favorite thing, and pretty much everything in between the rocks is just crushed up smaller pieces of those rocks that have eroded over thousands of years and getting, you know, they get just destroyed by the weather conditions up there. But that's how you get amazing, beautiful, vertical slabs of rock that are just so fucking cool. I really like mountains, right? I fly my drones in the mountains, I ride my bikes in the mountains. I'm gonna ride this wheel all over the mountains. Maybe not this wheel. Maybe the mountains are gonna require more wheel. I mean, I'm pretty new, like I say sometimes. I've only had this since it was May 23rd, but I can see myself getting another wheel, maybe 3 wheels, because maybe when I get the 3rd wheel I can sell the RST. I don't know. The RST is always going to be special because it's my first wheel. But yeah, suspension wheels, as they, you know, release and revision and, you know, do all the things. I know you know, they've had S18s, they've had suspension wheels for a while, but it seems like the Master and the S22 seem to be really getting everyone going. So I want to see, you know, what comes out of all of that, and maybe get one of those 2 wheels. Who knows, maybe the manufacturers will just learn from these 2 wheels and there'll be a new wheel next year, and then I'll have to wait a year to see what people think of that wheel. But the other wheel that I would also get is something with some range. And I don't know too much about like the Monster Pro or whatever, except that it has like a 24-inch wheel or tire. And that sounds awesome to me for some rangy rides. I'm assuming since it's so big that it's got a big battery pack in there. And yeah, I could, who was it, Will had something huge on the first group ride I went on. Yeah, that thing just looked massive, and like it just wanted to roll over everything. So I imagine if you're doing a super long range ride where it's gonna be street, maybe some off-road stuff, just having a huge diameter tire and a lot of battery would pretty much get you anywhere, I'd say. So yeah, that wheel's kind of got me looking at it. I just don't know. I mean, my main focus is always going to be riding this kind of stuff. And the RST, until these new suspension wheels came out, it seemed like the RST was the thing to ride the trails with. Maybe an S18 too, because definitely seen some people doing great things on the S18, despite its main drawback of being a smaller battery pack wheel. It can do off-road trails just fine. Off-road trails 20-30 miles is gonna kill you. I mean, maybe not if I'm riding like this. I feel like I could ride like this all day. Which does that mean I'm not riding hard enough to really be testing this thing? I think that's what that means. So let's pick up some speed. Let's go left. All right. Woo. Yeah, those pedal clip hazards, they get my heart going real quick. Whew. I don't know if I'm a good enough source to teach anyone how to ride a wheel, but counter rotation's always a thing in all sports. And that basically was gonna mean, for me, is if I have a right turn coming up, I usually put my left hand forward and my right hand back, and then it's almost, so this is the opposite, right hand forward, and then I'm gonna move it to the back, kind of like my arms stay in one place. And then what you're basically doing is almost using your body like a pair of scissors, opening and closing your upper half and your lower half, going the opposite way from each other. So if I want my lower body to turn to the left, it's hard to explain. To be like slow enough to talk about it and actually do it. But yeah, I'm gonna basically go like that, and it's gonna force my lower body to do the opposite thing that my upper body is doing. So I can go right hand forward, and then as I bring it around, it's gonna make my feet go left. Left hand forward. When you move it back, you're right. Your feet are gonna go right. This could be explained much better. Yeah, sometimes it saves my ass.